All right, welcome to Wednesdays with Wyatt. This is your host, Wyatt Elke. This week I'm joined by Aaron Opperman. How's it going, Aaron?
It's good. How are you?
I'm doing well, thank you. How was your weekend?
It was good. I did an Envirothon this weekend, and that was quite an experience. So that was interesting, at least. How was yours?
You know, it was pretty good. Lots of studying for AP tests. You know, AP Government yesterday now, and AP Microecon tomorrow. So it's a lot of stuff with that. You know.
How many tests did you have this year?
Overall, I only took 3. Where I know a few people have taken 4 or 5, of course, but 3 is still more than the number I took last year. And I guess I didn't take AP Government as a class, so it was a little bit rough. But made it through it now.
It was adventurous of you.
Thank you. Yeah, it was definitely it was an experience studying for it. But then I took the test and I took the test.
Yeah, and it looks good, so there's always that.
Exactly. And of course, a chance at college credit, which who doesn't want that?
Exactly.
And yeah, I guess kind of with that, end of the year kind of coming quickly.
I know it's exciting but stressful, and I think this is the first time that I've felt genuinely terrified and excited at the same time.
Yeah.
It's a really big change.
Yeah, I would definitely agree. Obviously, like I said, I've been pretty stressed out this week, whatever, with all that studying. So I'm pretty excited for it to be over, I guess. But it's there's definitely a mix of emotions.
Yeah, and
I'm sure everybody's feeling that.
We get simple things like, oh, ran the mile for the last time for the rest of my life, and it's weirdly triumphant, but also disappointing at the same time.
Yeah, I can understand that, I guess. Last couple days of kickball probably played, so that's that's that. But so I've got you on the show today.
Yes.
And we're going to talk about Barack Obama.
Yes.
So, recently there's been all sorts of kind of controversy in the government, I guess, what with Benghazi and the IRS targeting political opponents, and this recent stuff about the Associated Press having their phone records taken.
Yeah. And
I mean, even rumors of wiretaps too at this point. And there actually have been a few calls for Obama's impeachment.
Yeah.
And I think it's incredibly interesting, the logic some people have. So. Yeah,
I mean, I think that Benghazi is an issue. It is a serious issue, especially if some of the rumors about how long it lasted and that it was being monitored the whole time by the White House, and that a request for security had been put in the previous weeks. I think if all the rumors and stuff are true, this is an issue that needs to be addressed. I don't, however, think this is an impeachment-worthy issue. I think it's not really Obama's fault by himself, if even his fault at all.
Yeah, well, I mean, I would agree with that, and it's definitely if people are trying to sort of bring it up more so. Obviously, it is an issue. We're still learning things about it, but there have already been a few ads on TV that are essentially attack ads against Hillary Clinton. Obviously, she was Secretary of State at the time. And kind of, she's really rumored, people think she's going to run for president in 2016. So it's, to me, I guess it seems kind of, to an extent, kind of political in nature, no matter what.
It's entirely political in nature. And that with people accusing her of being directly involved with it because she recently resigned. They're saying that she was the one who specifically denied advanced security to the embassy that was attacked. And I think that on its own just highlights how political this is.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's fairly common for heads of different, cabinet positions to resign after a term. I mean, so I don't think I think that's just kind of conjecture, honestly, on people's parts. But I guess, everybody is entitled to an opinion, I suppose.
Yeah. I mean, as long as I don't mind hearing other people's opinions as long as they're reasonably backed up.
Yeah, and I mean, at this point, as far as impeachment goes, I would say there's not anywhere near enough evidence.
Yeah, I don't honestly. If we move on to the IRS targeting the political opponents, I haven't heard a whole lot about that, but that again sounds like someone really desperately grabbing for someone to put the blame on.
I suppose. I mean, I guess I've heard a little bit more about it, and their claims are more substantiated than you would think necessarily just by hearing that. But because I mean, they're definitely Tea Party organizations that I remember hearing on the news. They the IRS would contact like them and asking about specific people and seeing like how are they involved with this party, and they're not even involved with the party, you know, and then they'd contact the people and be like, how are you involved with this, like, let's say Tea Party organization, then they weren't even involved with it, and it was just very, very strange. Like, it's kind of a strange thing, I guess, and I don't know if it's really, I guess I wouldn't place the blame necessarily on Barack Obama, really. I don't think
not
there's
exactly his fault.
I don't think there's necessarily evidence to completely pinpoint the blame on him, but you know.
A lot of our representatives actually think this is a way bigger deal than the public. There's actually, I have a statement in front of me here that says the representative Steve King of Iowa actually said, I believe it's a lot bigger than Watergate, and if you link Watergate and Iran-Contra together and multiply it by maybe 10 or so, you're going to get in the zone where Benghazi is.
Now,
personally, I think that's way over the top.
That's kind of absolutely ridiculous.
I mean, yes, it's an issue, but Watergate plus Iran-Contra times 10 or so seems way, way bigger than this is.
I mean, cause they're talking, when they're saying that, they're talking about two of the like bigger scandals, honestly.
Yeah.
At least in recent history, you know, obviously.
Especially, yeah.
I mean, there was the Bill Clinton impeachment and stuff, which obviously, since it actually led to an impeachment, was a pretty,
yeah.
pretty big controversy.
But I mean, when you look at Watergate, I mean, that was the Oval Office being wiretapped and a break-in of the Watergate building into the Democratic National Convention's office, and like that being wiretapped, like that's clearly breaking the law and in a huge way. And then with Iran-Contra, like really what we have here is a couple of very strange events that we can't place the blame on anyone.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I guess it's the continuing sort of event that people always kind of cry for a president to be impeached. You know, it happens with every single president. I can't think of a specific, but I remember hearing about George W. Bush, otherwise known as Bush 43, of course, being called, you know, and to be impeached and stuff like that. So I mean, I think it's something that happens with every president, and I feel like these claims, though there are material like things that have happened, I feel like they're still relatively unsubstantiated at this point. Of course, if they come up with some hard evidence, you know.
Yeah, if it can't be argued, then fine.
Yeah, if it can't be argued, I'm not going to argue with it, you know.
But yeah, I think certain statements are absolutely ridiculous.
Yeah, but I mean, you know, in some ways that's kind of just politics, to be honest here.
All of politics is blown up 100 times bigger than it should be.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, since I've been studying for AP Government, you know, I've been thinking a lot about that. But, you know, I guess, you know, ultimately it is what it is, and we'll see what happens as situations develop.
Exactly. So. We'll have to see where this goes.
Exactly. But, you know, thanks for being on the show today, Erin.
Yeah, thank you for having me.
And thank you for listening. Until next time.